What if I told you there's a legal way to cheat at life that costs less than a cup of coffee? I'm not talking about some get-rich-quick scheme or life hack that fall apart in a week. I'm talking about something that's been scientifically proven to boost your IQ, improve your mental health, increase your income potential, and basically give you superpowers in almost every area of your life. And the crazy part, most people know about it but never actually do it. It's called journaling, and by the end of this video you'll understand why it's the closest thing we have to an actual cheat code for human experience. The problem with our brains. Look, here's this thing about the human brains. They're incredible, but they are also kind of terrible at being objective about our own lives. Think about it. You've got a roughly 60,000 thoughts per day bouncing around in your head. According to research from the National Science Foundation, about 80% of those thoughts are negative and 95% are repetitive. So basically your brain is like a broken record player stuck on the worst playlist imaginable, playing the same anxious, self-doubting tracks over and over again. But here's where it gets worse. Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert found that we're incredibly bad at predicting what will make us happy. We overestimate how good winning the lottery will feel and underestimate how quickly we'll bounce back from getting fired. We're walking around making life decisions based on a fundamentally flawed internal GPS system. And don't even get me started on memory. Research from UC Irvine shows that we forget about 50% of new information within an hour and 90% within a week. So all those brilliant insights you had in the shower last Tuesday, gone. That pattern you noticed about why your relationships keep ending the same way, your brain filed it away somewhere, you'll never find it again. This is the human condition. We're flying blind through the life with faulty instruments. By the way, if you want to learn to write like a pro, check out the link in the description. There is a free ebook that will help you realize hero's journey and write like never before. Now back to our business. Enter journaling, the ultimate life hack. But what if there was a way to upgrade your mental operating system? What if you could turn your scattered, biased, forgetful brain into a precise, objective learning machine? That's exactly what journaling does. And I'm not talking about Dear Diary teenage angst here. I'm talking about the deliberate practice that some of the smartest people in human history have used to gain an almost unfair advantage in life. Warren Buffett journals daily. So did Leonardo da Vinci, Charles Darwin, Marie Curie, Einstein kept detailed notebooks. Oprah is journaling as one of the most important practices in her life. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, journals every morning before checking his phone. Are these people just sentimental? Or did they figure out something the rest of us are missing? Here you go. The science why journaling is cognitive steroids. Let's look at what actually happens in your brain when you put pen to paper. First, there is something called the generation effect. Research published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology shows that when you write something down, you remember it 42% better than when you just think about it. Your brain literally forms stronger neural pathways when you engage the physical act of writing. But it gets better. Dr. James Pennebaker from the University of Texas has spent decades studying what he calls expressive writing. His research shows that people who journal for just 15 to 20 minutes a day, 4 days in a row, show measurable improvements in their immune function, blood pressure, and stress hormones. Their wounds heal faster, they get sick less often, they sleep better. One study followed people for 7 months after just 4 days of journaling. 7 months later, they were still showing improved immune function. 4 days of writing changed their biology for more than half a year. Now let's talk about emotional deregulation. UCLA neuroscientist Matthew Lieberman discovered that when you label your emotions by writing them down, it literally calms the amygdala, the fear center of your brain, up to 50%. It's like having a volume control for your anxiety. But here's the real crazy part. A study published in Psychological Science found that students who wrote about their values for 15 minutes before a big test improved their grades by an average of 0.24 GPA points. That's the difference between a B plus and an A minus from 15 minutes of writing. And we're just getting started. Pattern recognition. Your personal data analytics. Here's where journaling becomes almost like cheating. Most people go through life reacting to the same triggers, making the same mistakes, and wondering why they keep ending up the same situations. What if I told you there is a legal way to cheat at life that costs less than a cup of coffee? But when you journal consistently, you become a data scientist of your own life. You start seeing patterns that were invisible before. Research from Harvard Business School shows that people who reflect on their experience through journaling or similar practices perform 23% better on subsequent tasks. They're not just repeating the experiences, they're learning from them. Think about it this way: every day you generate massive amounts of data about what works and what doesn't in your life. What situations stress you out? What activities energize you? What types of people drain you? What decisions you regret? But without journaling, the data just evaporates. With journaling, you become like those companies that use big data to optimize everything. Instead of optimizing ad clicks, you're optimizing your entire existence. A study from the University of California found that people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them. But here's even more interesting. When you journal regularly, you don't just write down your goals once, you continuously refine them based on what you're learning about yourself. Now, the compound effect: small inputs, massive outputs. Here's where journaling starts to feel like actual magic. Everything I've talked about so far: better memory, emotional regulation, pattern recognition, goal achievement, these achievements compound over time. It's like earning interest on your personal development. A study published in the Journal of Research of Personality tracked people's personal growth over several years. Those who engaged in regular self-reflection practices, including journaling, show significant greater increase in self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and life satisfaction over time. But compound growth isn't linear, it's exponential. The people who journal for a year isn't just 365 times better than someone who journals for a day. They're operating on a completely different level. Think about it. After a month of journaling, you start recognizing patterns. After 3 months, you're actively changing behaviors based on those patterns. After a year, you've essentially rewired your default responses to life. After 5 years, you've become a different person, one who makes better decisions, has healthier relationships, and pursues more meaningful goals. Meanwhile, everyone else is still running on their original programming, making the same mistakes and wondering why life feels so random and difficult. The specific benefits: your new superpowers, the specific ways journaling will upgrade your life. Superpower number one: enhanced problem solving. Research from the University of Rochester found that people who write about stressful events have improved problem solving abilities. When you externalize your thoughts on paper, you can see solutions that were invisible and everything was swirling around in your head. Superpower number two: emotional intelligence boost. A study published in Applied Psychology showed that expressive writing increases emotional intelligence scores by an average of 12%. You become better at understanding not just your own emotions, but other people's too. Superpower number three: reduced anxiety and depression. Meta-analysis of journaling studies consistently show reduction in symptoms of anxiety and depression. One study found that just 3 20 minutes journaling sessions reduced symptoms by 25%, and the effects lasted for months. Superpower number four: better decision making. When you have a written record of your past decisions and their outcomes, you make better future decisions. It's like having a personal advisor who knows everything about your history and tendencies. Superpower number five: increased creativity. Research from the University of Victoria found that expressive writing increases creative problem solving abilities. When you really dump your thoughts on paper, it clears mental space for new ideas to emerge. Superpower number six: improved relationships. Studies show that people who journal have more satisfying relationships. When you understand your own patterns and triggers, you show up differently in relationships. The implementation: making it ridiculously easy. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but I don't have time to become some journaling guru. Here's the beautiful part: you don't need to. Research shows you can get more of these benefits within just 10 to 15 minutes of writing 3-4 times per week. That's less time than you're spending scrolling through your social media during a single bathroom break. The key is consistency over intensity. Dr. Pannebecker's research shows that even writing for just 4 days in a row can create lasting benefits, but people who see the most dramatic changes are those who make it a regular practice. Here's the simplest approach that science supports. Set aside 10 minutes 3 times a week. Write consciously without stopping to edit or think too hard. Focus on your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Don't worry about spelling. This isn't English class. That's it. No special journals, no complicated prompts, no perfect conditions, just you, something to write with, and 10 minutes of honesty. Some people prefer morning journaling to set intentions for the day. Others prefer evening journaling to process what happened. The research doesn't show a significant difference. What matters is that you do it consistently. The long game, your future self will thank you. Here's what's really wild to think about. While most people are hoping for some external change to improve their lives, a new job, a relationship, more money, you can literally rewire your experience and navigate life for the cost of a notebook. 5 years from now, there will be two versions of you, the one who started journaling consistently and the one who didn't. The difference between these two people won't just be in their achievements, it will be in their judgmental and fundamental capacity to learn, grow, and thrive. The journaling version will make better decisions because they're recognizing patterns from their past. They'll be more emotionally stable because they'll have practiced processing their feelings. They'll be more creative because they'll have cleared mental space regularly. They'll have better relationships because they understand themselves better. Meanwhile, the non-journaling version will still be running on their original programming, reactive and unconscious, wondering why some people seems to have life figured out. The crazy part, it all starts with just 10 minutes and costs less than a cup of coffee. So here's my challenge to you. Try it out for just 1 week, 7 days, 10 minutes each day. See what happens when you give your brain the simple upgrade. Because the only thing better than having an unfair advantage in life is actually using it. What are you waiting for? Grab a pen, grab some paper, and start your first entry today. Your future self is counting on you. Well, this is all, folks. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Cheers!